Hello everyone. I figured while I sat here and wait for my car to heat up, I would just do like a heart-to-heart about Eat Vermont. For the OGs, okay? For those of you who followed along for a while and care about the behind the scenes on Eat Vermont. For those of you who just want good food, swipe on. It's all good. For those of you who know me or are just interested and invested in the journey of Eat Vermont, here's the background. I started Eat Vermont many years ago, 2015. It was a little account for me to go get free food, be creative. And it was an era where it was really easy to pick up followers, but it was really tough to be taken seriously. This is 2015. So, it was a great adventure. And in the process of doing that, Eat Vermont grew to about 15,000 followers. And I also grew in my own education, just spending time in kitchens and talking, two of my favorite things to do. And I just started to really have a better understanding of this great irony, which is that small businesses make Vermont so unique. They give our community character, and the quality is just so much higher, the customer service, everything. And yet small businesses, especially in the food space, farms, and all the way up the food chain, or all the way down the food chain, it's so hard to succeed. And I just thought, it's kind of weird. Like, this is the thing that makes our community special, and yet it's so difficult. You see businesses close all the time, and I've spoken about this at length. So I started to dream up back in 2016, 17, this idea of, like, how could we solve this at scale? Like, how do you bring big business efficiency to small businesses so that the cost savings, it just makes it more feasible for these businesses to stay operating, and some of that cost savings can go on to consumers so that we don't have to pay exorbitant, insane prices for local, which I do understand why we do that, but it's just, how do we make it more accessible and more profitable? So that's sort of where this genesis of creating an Eat Vermont platform, the mobile app that we've been building now, it all started back in probably 2017. I started having these dreams, one could say delusions. But come around that time, 2018-ish maybe, it just like really was hitting a wall, could not figure out how to make the social media work. No one wanted to pay me to do it. Like, basically the big brands who could afford marketing didn't need me. And the small brands or businesses that really could use the help could not afford it. And so it's like, that's a terrible market to be in. So I kind of threw my hands up and I said, I don't know what I'm doing with Eat Vermont. Let me just put this on pause. And I went back to Southern California, which is where I grew up. And for a couple years, I worked in Hollywood. And I worked on TV sets and did some reality TV, and just really wanted to understand how the pros, like the real industry pros, tell stories. I came back to Vermont right before COVID hit. And during COVID, it was just horrible to see all these small businesses suffering. The food insecurity in our state went way up. And I said, it just struck me as wrong. And I said, we've got to figure out a way to solve that original problem of how do we support small businesses? How do we support local? And it's not just about the high quality food and the adventure, which is a real part of it, but it's also just about how we strengthen our community and make it resilient at the root. Because I feel like the stronger we are, the more joyful it can be. To me, it's like, yeah, it's obvious. Let's do that. And so I ended up going to law school, and during that period from fall 21 onwards, and it was a little bit before that, I revived this social media account that you're watching now. And I wanted to just take on the storytelling, do it really as free as I could, which is that I don't charge businesses if I work directly with the owner, and just try to tell stories in a way that brings people together, that creates a sense of discoverability, of adventure, of community, and just really lean into the storytelling, which I love, and values that I care about, that I think we all care about. I went through law school, and I guess the reality is that I come from a privileged background. So my school got a great scholarship, but my other expenses in school was covered by family. So it was a great privilege. And I was able to take that and some earnings that I had done through media, working for tourism and agency of ag and different clients, and then also take some inheritance and put that all together. And then I, at the same time in law school, met Barrage. Barrage is my number 2. He lives in White River Junction with me. In fact, he moved in across the hall from me, which is pretty cool. So very fortuitous. We got along great. He really understands the vision of what I want to build for Eat Vermont, and he understood it like right at the jump. And so I basically took all my life savings, and I've posted about this previously. I scraped all the pennies out of the cushions that I could find, and I put that into Eat Vermont, and we started building this app. Now, last year, we ended up announcing it because we were excited about it, but it's kind of like, what's the, I don't know if the safer work version is, the blowing your load too soon is kind of what comes to mind, but just kind of being excited about it, talking about it way before that original app was ready. We also made the mistake of going down this path of like a very confusing path. That app was called Stellar. It was all about home cooking and this and this and this. It was very adjacent to Eat Vermont, but not the core product we really wanted to build. We were just a couple of enthusiastic guys going down the wrong path, like marching away, you know, like very eager Boy Scout like. And I think that caused a lot of confusion in this community about, oh, why a recipe app, right? Come fall this year, I was starting to look at my savings go down, and I said, yeah, why are we doing this? We should build the product we really want to build. Simultaneously with that, 7 Days reached out and they said, hey, we know you're building tech. We're doing a tech issue. We'd love to feature you. Well, that's something like when 7 Days comes knocking, you don't say no. So we said, okay, we better reconfigure and get our act together and say yes right now. So we did that. And I feel like Jordan Berry told the story amazingly well. And honestly, I felt like reconfiguring the product was going to be a lot easier than it has ended up being. So that's been painful. But then we made this other mistake. I made this other mistake. We got the 7 Days coverage. And then I was like, okay, well, we should carry this momentum. I could see my cash going down. Like, maybe we should do a Kickstarter. So we did the Kickstarter. But the whole Kickstarter was really flubbed for so many reasons. The number one reason was a storytelling issue, where most of my day, I actually go around and talk about the food scene, like businesses, small businesses, the system, what works, what doesn't, etc. What I think most people watching this account perceive is that I spend most of my day eating and talking about the dish. And so I branded the Kickstarter wrong. I was disorganized. The whole thing was just a flop, and that's like 100% my fault. And I want to thank everyone for your early support of that, even though it's an all or nothing, so we didn't get any of that money. That's totally okay. I just own that failure. It's all good. So basically what you're seeing, to summarize, is a guy, me, who has this dream of fixing Vermont's food system and just making local food amazing, because I believe in you and I believe in us and I believe in all of these things that we all believe in. And I'm basically stumbling and weaving and bobbing towards this final destination. So that's kind of this whole journey. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I mean, or whatever. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out. And thanks for being a part of the community. This is just sort of the general track of where we're headed. Now, let me just close by saying this. This video is getting a little long. We can chat another time. And my car is warmed up. The app finally, and I'm going to start dropping videos about it, is actually legitimately finally getting to the place where I feel pretty good about it. We still have a little ways to go where we can really ratchet up the quality and the content in it. But the fundamentals are finally, like months after I thought we were going to be ready, it's good to go. So if you want to try that, you can try it. FIRSTBITE is the code that you can use to get a free month. But I'll do some demos and really show out, like, here's what it is, why it is, etc. So yeah, so that'll be coming shortly. And that's just some sort of, like, I don't know, heart-to-heart story and arc of Eat Vermont, where we are. And then at some point, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about where we're headed, because I think it's going to be a really brilliant, blazing future for all of us. Just Vermont's food community is so special that I think that we have good seeds. We got good, what do you call it? Gene stock, whatever. We'll do something great. Okay. Happy New Year. I hope everything's gotten off to a good start. I'll see you guys soon.